Hoffman.
All right.
And also to Tony Roko, actually, who's here. And Tony, would you tell Tony, who's our producer, your artistic achievement that he would most likely see?
I believe that would be the Atwater Brewery labels.
No, they're beautiful. They're a piece of art. All of them.
Tony's idea of an art museum is the beer aisle admire.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got, so far we've landed beer labels, condoms, and what's coming up, Greg? Something else was coming up that was, yeah, it's pretty
Keep our eyes open. We'll
Can I
keep-
ask one question
Yeah.
about that, though?
Yeah.
Who was the inspiration for the label for the Dirty Blonde beer?
Yeah.
Did you do that one?
I can't say, but.
Hey, leave it to all of us. We all have our own dirty blonde in our past, don't we? Or our future, if you go to Meyer and you can enjoy the work, indeed, of Mr. Tony Roko. Greg Hoffman is here too. Tony Cuthbert, take it the rest of the way, if you would.
Yeah, absolutely, Michael Patrick. Talking about the Tigers, it's good to see there's been no, I guess,
So that was
angry
Michael Patrick
teammates.
Shiels,
Well,
Greg
look to
Hoffman for
Pittsburgh,
the Art
Pirates
Foundation,
right-handed pitcher
Bob
Kyle
Lambert,
Crick. He
General
required
Manager,
season
Detroit Foundation
ending
Hotel,
surgery
Tony
on his
Roko,
index
who did
finger
this
of his
wonderful
pitching
painting called The Commissioner,
in a clubhouse
which when
fight
they
with
announced
fellow
the
reliever from
Commissioner's
the
Ale that they have here at
So the
Detroit
Tigers
Foundation Hotel.
have none of that
Right,
going
Bob?
on, so let's see.
Yeah, amazing. And by the way, every beer that we sell, we give $1 to the Fireman's Fund as a collaboration. So you know, Tony put the great, and we have this behind our front desk too. So it's on the beer, and it's also life-size, well, larger than life-size painting behind our front desk at the hotel.
And now part of your permanent art collection.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yep, we own it.
And Tony, some comments about the Detroit Historical Museum. You know, we all gathered around the table, people from the Historical Museum and Greg and Bob and all of us last week, kind of, you know, talking about their centennials coming up in 2021 and how we
Yeah.
can all keep that community spirit that Bob has started here at the hotel. You've been such a big part of the hotel, Detroit Foundation Hotel, with all your artwork and your, gosh, you've given art lessons to the Boys and Girls Club and had the paintings on display. So talk about that partnership and the whole feeling with Detroit Historical Museum.
Well, the hotel's been huge for us in terms of, you know, exposure and that sort of thing. So we've really, you know, benefited greatly from the partnership. We're in early talks of a possible partnership and collaboration with the Detroit Historical Society for their centennial as well. So that all came from here, and I think it's just another example of the hub that the Foundation Hotel has become.
Greg, some thoughts on the Detroit Historical Museum and the exhibit here this weekend and the partnerships?
I've only seen a couple of the pieces in the exhibit, so I'm excited to check the rest of that out. But we're just really honored to be even considered in the conversation with them. I think they're doing a great job making sure that the centennial celebrations are very community-centered and have a lot of youth involvement, and so we're going to try to contribute to that in whatever way we can.
And you
we're
and
just really
Tony have
excited.
been doing that here at Detroit Foundation Hotel for
Yeah.
a couple of years now.
Yeah, we're really fortunate. The hotel sponsored one of the classes we did with the Boys and Girls Club, and kids got to paint here in the hotel and display the artwork, as you mentioned, for a month. They get to bring their families down and show that off in this incredible setting. So,
Oh, they were
really,
amazing.
yeah.
You know, what you led them through, that they were able to come up with that kind of artwork. Talk a little bit about, you know, your own work with the Art Foundation. You're looking to take over the mill in Plymouth?
Sure. Yeah, we're about a year into an initiative to purchase a nearly 100-year-old former Ford factory located on Hines Drive, just inside Plymouth city limits. That would be the new headquarters of the Art Foundation, new studio space for Tony, and then we would get about 4 acres of adjoining property that we would remove a lot of the blight that's grown up there over the 70 years, and we would convert it into a sculpture garden with sculptures designed by elementary school kids. So picture a refrigerator drawing of Albert Kahn water tower, right? A really iconic looking kind of Detroit landmark. So picture an 8-year-old drawing that, and then we'd work with Midwest Sculpture to take that refrigerator drawing and translate it into a larger-than-life sculpture.
And Tony, that's your thing about, you know, bringing kids up, learning art early, just like Detroit Historical Museum likes the children to come into the museum at a young age and realize that's a destination for them as they grow older. I hear that from all kinds of adults that said when they were kids went to the Historical Museum, but and your desire to teach children at a young age, and when we were talking the other day about the Detroit Historical Centennial and Detroit Foundation Hotel and having things happen and this being a hub for it as well, all you were dwelling on was getting kids involved.
Yeah, It's been interesting. I think my style has evolved from working with kids. You know, I think that they've, you know, taught me most of what I know, really. You know, I went in with this idea that I was going to be showing them how to paint, and I think that, you know, the fact that they paint with, you know, no inhibitions, that they just really, the freedom that they create with is something that I've tried to kind of adopt in my work.
And somebody notices that spark in kids, like someone noticed the spark in you. You were an adult working at a Ford factory.
Yeah. I started my career out at Ford Motor Company.
On the line.
I mean, I
right?
would use the term adult loosely, but yeah, I started out on the assembly line and I was discovered there. So trying to pay that forward. And
Were you doodling during a lunch hour or something?
yeah, it
And
was
you did it?
during my lunch break. Kind of sort of the Detroit fairy tale story, I guess, if you will. Starting out in a factory, which is pretty unusual, I
And
think.
Ford asked you to paint signs in the factory and get
Yeah,
involved?
they wanted us to spearhead this plant beautification program to boost morale within the production areas of Ford Motor Company. So, yeah, that was the initiative, and it was about employee involvement and creating a community within the plant.
Yeah. I think that's an important point, is that life happens in between all the plans we make, right?
Yeah.
And if you let it happen, wonderful things can happen. That's what's happened with me here at Detroit Foundation Hotel when Bob reached out to me.
Yeah.
Because Emily's was a couple blocks away, and he said, come be part of the neighborhood again. So it's a wonderful thing. And Michael Patrick Shiels, we can't thank you enough for being
He's
so
the
supportive.
Dutch Leonard of art,
Yeah.
transitioning from auto to art.
Absolutely. And Art, you know, the way that you're so creative with your broadcasts and your
Thank you.
interviews, I love it. We're longtime friends, and I really
Mahalo.
appreciate your support of everything we're doing here at Detroit Foundation Hotel. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.
Aloha.